What up, YouTube? Okay, so I want to talk to you today about how in my first job I worked a 0 hour contract and it took me 5 months to earn £80. That was my first job and it took me 5 months to earn £80. And I want to talk about what I learned from that and what it took away from me. Let's start with that. What did it take away from me? Um, I had to commute an hour to get into the town. So I live in like a small sort of town, and I'm on the sort of outskirts of it. I have to walk to the town. Um, it's an enjoyable walk. I walk through like lots of woods, and it's nice. That's what I enjoy about England. But it took me an hour to get there. So and an hour back. So you have to factor that in. So it took me 2 hours to really just that was my commute. That's the energy that it was taking out of me to get there. And they would only give me 2 hours a week. Two. So I would get there and I think I was on £4 an hour. So I would earn £8 in my shift. And it would be on a Sunday or a Saturday. So this is during the summers, during the springs of being at school, and you really want to just hang out with your friends. And it was a 0 hour contract, and you sign the contract, and it sort of says whenever they call you, you have to go in. That's part of the deal. And the reason why I sort of took it is because my mom was sort of like, you get a job, otherwise you know you this is no free ride. In this house, you need to start earning some money. And at the end of the day, I was earning zero, and then I went to earning £80 a month, £80 over 5 months. So for me, that was a step up, even though it didn't seem it. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about. Is even if you're moving up such a slight band, and I think when you earn more money, the bands do get wider. So when you're earning nothing, going from nothing to earning £5 or £10 is actually kind of good. It's sort of the same making profits. Say for example, if you're selling phones, if you're buying and selling, well, not just phones, buying and selling products for £5, selling them for 10, as opposed to buying products for 1,000 and then selling them for 1,500, you're getting a wider profit margin the higher you go up. And I faced that firsthand when I was working at Sports Direct. And the first 5 months I earned £80, and it wasn't an enjoyable job. I hated it. I really didn't enjoy it. It was everything that it was sales. I was just a sales assistant. I would help people choose what shoes that they wanted to buy, and then I would bring out the shoes from the stock. I'll go and find them. They had this mass storage of stock, and I would bring it down and help the customers choose what shoes they wanted to buy. And that was on a weekend while my friends were out playing. That's what I was doing for two hours. But I know the 2 hour time frame sounds like not a lot, but plus the 2 hours commute, that's 4 hours, and they'll plunk it right in the middle of my day. So I couldn't, we would go over to the next town and go to the beach or whatever we were doing. So I wasn't able to do that. It would take away from that. But I stuck with it, and I kind of didn't get on with the manager. The relationship. But there was no relationship there. I found it hard to build it. I also have to remember that at that age, I was very kind of obnoxious and arrogant, and I just sort of expected things to be given to me. I don't know why. I didn't understand the world of work. I didn't understand what it meant to have a job. So that's why it was quite good to have that and learn what I liked, what I didn't like, and I knew I didn't want to be a sales assistant at Sports Direct. Is there anything I took from it as a benefit? Not really. I didn't learn anything. I wasn't invested. No one invested in me to teach me anything or give me some good some perks or tips. I think I got 10% discount, something like that. But the way I got this job is I was walking through the middle of the town, and there was a sign saying "Recruiting now, come upstairs." Like, I've never seen a sign like that before. Recruiting now, come upstairs. And me and two friends of mine saw it, and we was like, we're looking for jobs, let's go. We went upstairs, and there was this big room, and there was this lady who was sort of the manager, and just started saying, right, you're in this recruitment thing now. It's like talk to the person next to you about this, and then she went around the table and we had to say something about ourselves, and that was pretty much it. And we went away, and we got a phone call. Me and my friend, the other guy didn't get it, but me and my other friend, I don't know what they were basing this off, but yeah, we got the position and we came in, we did our introduction and all that, and that was it. That's how we got the position. All right, so 5 months later, let's fast forward. Um, I was signed up to do a hike for school. I don't know if you know the Duke of Edinburgh Award, but that's what I was signed up to do. And it was on the weekend, and I called up the manager and was like, "Look, I know I'm not in on this day yet, but I can't do that day." And she just started hammering me over the phone of, "It's in the contract, you can't do that, it's not allowed." Just started spinning off all of this negative energy, and straight away I'm thinking, this is not the type of company that I want to be working for. It's just not, and I straight away knew that this isn't the norm. This is a very hostile environment. The manager is just really, really awful, and it wasn't an environment for me. So what I did was I quit there and then over the phone, because what was more important to me, going on this hike and having a really nice time with some friends and building skills out in the woods and out in the natural environment, adding something to my CV of something that I've done to participate in a team, show my leadership skills, or go in and exert have this place take energy away from me, take time away from me, and in return giving me peanuts, £8 for bring me in for 2 hours. I said, well, at least bring me in for 8 hours so I can earn £50, £60. No, it's just 2 hours. It just wouldn't give me any more hours. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I quit that job and I cashed in. I got my check at the end of the 5 months, and I was being paid monthly. But I mean, the overall summary that we got sent to see how much you earned in that time frame was £80. What did I do with that £80? I went, because I'd just been saving it up. I wasn't spending anything, so I didn't spend any of the money. Because my day to day didn't cost anything. I would go and play out in the woods with my friends. We would, walk around the town. I didn't spend anything. And I took the £80 and I walked into sports. I said, "What do I want to spend this on?" At the time, I was an avid runner. I still run, but not as much as I used to do. I used to run probably about 2 marathons a week. Why did I run 2 marathons a week? The reason that I did this was because I wanted to get as far away from my hometown as I possibly could. This is the age of 16, from the age of 16, I just had something within me that just wanted to run away. And it not because I'm from, it's not, I didn't have a bad upbringing, or I don't live in a bad home. It was just, I had something in me that knew there was more. I knew that there was more out there in the world. I always looked at maps. I always had a thing for looking at maps, and I just wanted to run. Sort of like Forrest Gump. And I would run to the next big town, which was 13 miles away, and back. So I would run 26 miles. And sometimes I would run with my friends, sometimes I wouldn't. And I'd probably be doing this 3 times a week. And, physically, I would be exhausted. I would come home in so much pain. But I think it was something about that pain and that journey of just running that I could relate to, and it gave me a sense of purpose. So I think that was some of the seeds that were planted into what I bring into my life now, which is international lifestyle, even though it's on a budget, and being an entrepreneur, being free. I still run. I do love having that feeling, but just being able to go wherever it is I want to go. I really take a sense of pride in being able to do it, to do that. But yeah, so I took the £8 and I bought a pair of shoes from Sports Direct. So I gave all the money back. I gave all the money back to them, and I took a pair of running shoes. Because that's what I valued at the time. I really wanted a nice pair of running shoes. I'd never had a nice pair of running shoes. I'd run in, whatever I had sitting around. And these had the air gel cushiony. It's like running on clouds. You know, it was amazing, and I loved them, and I took them, and I just ran. I ran even more than I used to with these shoes, and yeah, so that's what I got out of that. Even though it was a horrible 5 months of just, even though it was a small amount of time each week, it was my first job, and they took so much more away from me than I got back. So I think that's something to really consider when you're working a job. Is it just taking away from you? If it's just taking away from you, get the hell out of there. Um, but there has to be a plan. There has to be a way of like, because I was going off to uni soon, so it wasn't. I never planned to stay in that job long. So I think when you do get one of these jobs, make a plan from the outset. Where are you gonna be in 6 months? Don't make a plan to stay there if you don't like it. Make a plan to how to get out. Like, make it a 6 month plan, 3 month plan, whatever it takes. Money's not really going to be a big factor because you're not earning a lot. But so you want to, whether you're transitioning from that job to a full-time job, whether you're transitioning from that to university, whether you're transitioning from that to an entrepreneur, build up your plan, have your transition plan, and think about it. But whilst you're there, again, try and make the most out of it, and really capture what it is about your manager and about the job that you don't enjoy doing. That's something that I did, and I look back at that job and I think, wow, it took so much more away from me than it gave back. So I think that's something to consider and something to really ponder upon. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about for a quick 11 minutes, and I'll catch you on the next one.